All right, Lenny Krayzelburg, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing very well,
So,
and excited.
how's life in the bubble over in Budapest, man?
It's definitely taking a few days to adjust for sure. I mean, we're pretty much confined to our hotel and going to the pool, so it's very different, especially considering being in a beautiful city like Budapest. You're kind of anxious to go out and about, but certainly, the league has done a really good job. Putting all these COVID protocols in place, making sure that everyone is following it, and I mean, the idea is to make sure everyone is feeling safe. That's the key.
Yeah. Now, well, first, tough question. Is there any positive tests on the LA Current, or you're all clear to go?
No, we're all clear. Thankfully, knock on wood, our roster's ready to go. Everyone has tested negative.
Perfect. Now, talk to me about the bubble itself. In terms of the hotel, it's on an island or something, isn't it?
Yes, it's a island called Market Island. It's a pretty decent sized island. There's really just two major buildings on the island, and they're both hotels. And pretty much ISL has taken over both of these hotels, and it's really nice accommodations. Everyone has their own room. Um, Obviously, dining halls are pretty big. They've done a great job where basically everyone's sitting on their own. So everyone has a little table, whether it's a chair or a couch, but it's all separated about 6 feet apart. So they've done a really nice job sticking to the protocol that's been set here by, I guess, the medical council that they've been working with here locally in Hungary. And so far, everyone's really following it. Masks are constantly enforced, and to a point where you have to wear it over your nose. So everything has been actually quite impressive how they've been able to really manage this protocol and set the right culture.
Yeah, listen, I was skeptical, honestly. I mean, even talking to you about coming out to season two, I didn't think it was going to happen. And you got to take your hats off to Constantine. He's really pulled this one off.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, the last half a year now, a little longer, there's so much has been happening just in the world in general, and a lot of things were happening with ISL. I mean, there was a lot of skepticism around the season. How could you pull something like this off? And yeah, it's just his persistence and leadership and understanding the importance of having something like this at this time. It's just good for our sport. It's good for our athletes. I mean, we know that majority of our athletes have not really competed probably since the beginning of the year. And you're going into this Olympic year. You need racing. You need competition. So it's just been incredible how they've been, sticking to the plan and really surging forward. And I'm sure there's been a lot of obstacles along the way, but here we are. A few days from the start of the season.
Well, listen, your job was to assemble the team, build the team, get it to where it is today. What's your job now, a day out from racing? What do you do?
I sleep longer than usual. No, I'm kidding. Listen, exactly. Now my job is to make sure I'm there to support our coaching staff, make sure I'm there to support our athletes, to provide an environment and a culture that is a supportive, close culture where we can feed off of each other, build a nice team camaraderie, and really try to make sure that that energy really resonates in the pool when we start racing. One of the differences for our team this year versus last year, we have a lot of new faces on the team.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of foreign athletes on our team, more so this year than we've had last year. So, integrating it and bringing the whole team together, it's definitely going to be, we're slowly getting there, but it's certainly, first couple of days, it was a bit challenging because a lot of people just don't know them. So they don't know each other. So
Mm-hmm.
my job has been kind of bringing people together, and also, quite honestly, for me personally, getting to know each person on our team, and kind of getting to know them outside of their swimming talents, who they are as people.
Now, you picked captains. You selected Ryan Murphy and Beryl Gastadella. How did you come about with those two?
Well, like if we to focus on Beryl, for example, Beryl was just she. Besides the fact that she led in the pool last year and how well she performed, she just got a really energetic personality about her. She's an extrovert. She carries herself with a lot of energy, and I think that energy is important in a team setting, in the team environment, especially when you're trying to bring people together from different cultures, different teams. With Ryan, it's actually quite interesting because Ryan somewhat is an introvert personally, but yet he leads by example. And just his professionalism, the way he carries himself, the way he prepares, the way he trains, that element of routine is so important, especially at our level. And Ryan is just a perfect example of someone that really has has clarity in terms of what he's doing every single day and how he's going about it. And I think it's so important, especially for younger athletes on the team, to feed off of that and learn from that. So I feel like we have a really unique balance of these two team captains that can lead by example and also lead by emotion as well.
Now, do you have any say in the lineups itself, or are you leaving that to the coaching staff? How are you guys going about selecting who swims what?
Yeah, I tend to leave that up to the coaching staff. But I feel like I've put together a coaching staff that is incredibly experienced and understands how to put lineups together, and really also understands how people are swimming right now, like how they're training, how they're looking in the water. And I think that's really important as you start putting these lineups together. And you've experienced that last year. So I think watching our athletes actually when they're here training is really important. So I've really left that up to the athlete, up to our coaching staff. I've certainly kind of taken a look at it and asked some questions about it, but generally it's definitely the coaching staff that's deciding. And certainly, going around and speaking to our athletes and getting their comfort level and about certain events that they're putting them in, and what their thoughts about it, because we certainly want to make sure that we're putting people in the events where they're excited to race, and we know they're going to bring that right energy, because that right energy will resonate with the rest of the team, and we want to make sure that really it's constantly maintained throughout every match that we race this season.
Now, you guys are performing tomorrow in a beautiful stadium. Is there going to be people in the stadium? Are they going to bring a crowd in?
No, there's
Nothing.
no fans.
Okay.
There's no fans at all. So it'll be a different environment for sure. And it's something that we talked, or production team talked with our athletes in individual team meetings, is that you have to create that energy, that you have to generate that energy yourself when you're walking out during that introduction, because you used to having fans cheering, you used to having a lot of eyes on you, and this is going to be very different. So you have to create it yourself. So it's important. But I will tell you though, the setting, the set of the pool is larger, it's nicer, it's bigger. So it's definitely, just walking onto it, it creates a lot of excitement for the athletes to race and to swim fast.
Awesome, man. I can't wait. So tell me, you guys are in the first match of the season. Who are you guys racing?
We're racing Energy Standard, Cali Condors, and New York Breakers.
Oh, wow. Straight up.
Straight up. No kidding around. So yeah, we're definitely in a tough match tomorrow for sure, or tomorrow and Saturday. But we're excited. I think a lot of our guys looking good in the water. We put preliminary lineup together for day one, and it actually looks good. I mean, we're at swimming everyone in their best races, which is great. A lot of times last year we didn't have that opportunity, or we had some of our athletes swimming a lot of events that I feel like this year it's actually where we can play to our strengths a lot.
Now, tell me someone on the team that you might not know very well, but you're kind of excited to see them swim just by getting to know them the last few days.
I'm really excited about the Norwegian kid that we have, Tomoy Lass. He's 19 or 20-year-old from Norway. He's incredibly talented, got a beautiful, really smooth stroke. And I think I really believe he's gonna surprise a lot of people in the league this year. He was off the radar and not a lot of people paid attention to him. He's been training and focusing on the ISL season. And I think it's gonna definitely surprise him. I believe that he's a sleeper.
Is there anybody that has come to you and said, "Look, I'm really nervous. I haven't done the training that I needed to do," or is there any situation like that?
No, no one. I think they're all intimidated at me. Just kidding. No one has said that. No, everyone's really thankful. I think that's probably the most important thing that I want to communicate, is that everyone is thankful for this opportunity. Like we talked earlier, for a long time, people weren't sure if this was going to happen. And right now, athletes are just thankful that we're here and we're racing, or we're on the verge of racing.
Awesome. Well, listen, super excited about it. I appreciate your time. I know you're super busy with preparations. You guys are about to head to the pool for your final swim of the day. So, listen, good luck. Go Current.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Brad.
See you, Lenny. Bye.
All right.
All right. David Marsh, how you doing, man?
Doing well over here in Budapest, and happy to be here.
How's life in the bubble?
It's interesting, after watching all these other sports do the bubble and wondering how they're doing it, you definitely get the feeling and the understanding of how it can be done. Hey, we're only in the first week of being here. We might be all going stir crazy after 6 weeks, but for the first week, the quality of the hotel, and we have a little balcony out here, and we're on Margaret Island, so we're able to go for walks around Margaret Island for a little while. It's quite nice, and I think everybody's so far just appreciating seeing each other. Honestly, I think that's the biggest thing I'm getting out of this, is right now the unity of people just being here together and catching up with friends. I think it's been great for the emotions.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, you see sports like the UFC or the NBA or NFL, these sports with hundreds of millions of dollars, but for swimming to put on an event like this, it's pretty incredible, right?
It really is, and really grateful to the ISL for creating this, because it's got to just cost them a lot of money to do the protocol they're doing. I mean, I've had more things stuck up my nose checking my brain if it's still alive than I can will ever want to imagine again. But if that's what it takes to do our craft and to get to do what we do, then I think it's worthwhile. And and not saying it's all good. I mean, I walk down the hall right here where I am, and there's one room with a big red sign that says COVID room. So somebody, we don't know who, is in that room with COVID, and it has to do the time it's going to take. They'll get retested before they are able to do any version of joining in. So I think they have a very good protocol here, and they're really enforcing it. I mean, downstairs in the lobby area, if you slide your mask off and do anything other than sip your coffee and not put it right back up, then the marshals come over and let you know that you need to put your mask back up. So they've been real good about reinforcing that, and I think it's just about as good as we're going to get, I think.
Mm-hmm. How many official tests have you had in the last 2 weeks?
4 in the last 6 days.
Wow.
So
incredible.
Yeah, two before we left, and then as we got here, we've had 2 now. And
And
so
what's the protocol going forward now that you've cleared the past 4? How many more do you have to do?
Every 5 days we're doing it. Yeah, okay. And the entire group's doing it, including production team, everybody that's associated with it is doing it. I saw Ashley Null, and he's here for counseling and religious services, and he was going over to get his brain. We call it brain tickling because they put that thing way back further than they do in the United States. They're not missing anything with the way they check it.
Now, do the athletes have to wear masks at the competition side while they're competing as well?
Well, we're getting clarity on that. I know when we're in the box and when we're generally walking around, they will be wearing masks and distancing. When they walk out for the race, I think they're going to be able to take it off before they walk out for the race, partly because you'll be walking out one at a time. Mm-hmm. And we're going to address also how we walk out for relays. I mean, in reality, we're all in the bubble. We all are being tested often, but I think this also is sort of a public appearance you want to try to portray. And I think that's a little bit of why things will be tighter, at least for the athletes, than maybe it needs to be. But if it makes somebody feel a little more comfortable, then it's probably a good thing to do.
Well, tell me this. Let's get into the nuts and bolts of it a little bit. How are you going about picking your lineup? You don't know where these athletes have come from. I mean, how are you gathering information?
Just communicating with them. One of the nice things this year is we were able to bring over a lot of home coaches with the swimmers. So there is a lot of good information in that regard. And then, Dave Durden came in with the Cal guys. So he's been great to have because we have a big Cal influence, and he's been working with Katie and Abby. So he has a good sense of what they're doing. And I think in our team, and Brett, you were with us last year, and we really missed you over here, by the way. I would say it's cut and dry, but there are some pretty good lines of understanding. Fortunately, in several events, we have 3 people. So as the meet goes on and as meets go on and we adjust the lineup, we'll be making some adjustments to fit that. I mean, our first meet, we have the London Roar and Energy Standard in the meet along with the breakers. So it's going to be a doozy right off the bat. I'm glad that's the one that's going to be, on CBS Live. There'll be some true world-class swimming going on there. And also talking about who's shaving, who's not shaving. One of the things we emphasize, and Ryan Murphy actually initiated it, was to really encourage everybody to do what they came here to do. Some people came here to use this as in essence, a training camp because this is the most water they're going to get access to. Some people are using it as a racing camp with my team Elite Pros. And I've got 13 in the competition here on different teams. That's what I'm emphasizing. Look, this is a racing camp. We're going to race and then train a little bit, but mostly it's about fine-tuning all our racing skills. And then there's others that are full-on rested here. This is something they've been looking forward to, and they're all the way down as far as they can be. And so, as you've been doing lots of interviews, Brett, with people discovering or being shocked or even surprised at the progress they're making during the limitations they're having during COVID and how well they're swimming, I think we're going to see that as well. I think we're going to see some tremendous swims by people who may not be going the volume they have in the past, but one, they have been able to go the quality. 2 is they have been able to go the dry land, effort they've had before, so they're athletically fit. I mean, there's a lot of fit athletes here. And 3rd, I think just the appreciation for being here, being in an amazing facility here in Budapest. I think all those things will generate some pretty darn gone fast times.
Yeah, I was going to say, as the head coach, how much say do you have to say to the team, like, look, I need you ready. I need you to shave. I need you, are you able to do that, or you just leave it into the hands of the athletes at that point?
No, I mean, I would say I don't do that. I think you were better at that last year. But what I probably try to do is just emphasize that there's nothing wrong with swimming fast. So if anything, as long as their coach at home is planned on that, but this whole, honestly, our very first meeting, the very first conversation we had was really just about pausing and celebrating that we're getting to be here and we're getting to do this, because I think a lot of people thought there's a very small chance that this was going to happen. And we're going to be at a place where for 6 weeks in a row, we're going to be racing our guts out and having a good time and really celebrating our sport. So I think that's really the tone of how we're starting this. I think the team races and rivalries and all that will kick up. But even I talked to James Gibson the other day, and, we don't know who is going to be, eligible to be here. We're missing one of our key guys, not because of COVID, because of passport issue. and other teams have all kinds of other things going on too, and so you just have to make adjustments and be fluid and hope you have some versatile swimmers that can pick up events that need to be picked up.
Now, I know your personal coaching philosophy is like, look, we're going to put a lineup together, but there could be changes throughout the day. How do you communicate that to the athletes?
For sure, yeah, and we just try to warn them and let them know that that can be the case. At the end of the day, we're looking for the lineup that we believe can potentially score the most points. And with everybody in different states, I mean, we have 4 Brazilians that I don't know at all. And when I'm watching them in warm up and I'm watching them what they're doing in their preparation, beautiful work. I mean, and they're all shaving, so they're, I'm assuming they'll be pretty darn fast. But I don't know them. I have never really followed them, never watched them swim a whole lot, never seen how they react to high-level competition, except big breaststroke Franca. Man, he's a house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and so I do think that there'll be a learning curve to this too. And that's the other good thing is I don't think any one meet will be the determining factor of how we evaluate our overall season. I felt like last year actually with the LA Current that we came out of the box pretty well, had our high water event in DC, and then when we really for the most part were more rested and shaved for Vegas, I thought we weren't quite as good as a team. We didn't have quite the unity, we didn't have quite the chemistry, we didn't perform quite as well, and other teams did rise up to the occasion in Vegas. And so we're learning as a team with the LA Current. We have a lot of the same swimmers, but we have a lot more internationals,
Mm-hmm.
and the internationals are really appreciative to get to hang out with people like Ryan Murphy and
Mm-hmm.
and Abby Wetzel and you brought Beryl in last year, Brett, when you were with us, and that was probably one of the coolest stories of ISL and what it can do. She came in from Texas A&M, and we were thinking, hey, she's got some speed, she might be good on the relays here and there. Next thing you know, she explodes, and now she's a whole nother level swimmer. Brett, you would be so impressed with the confidence she speaks with, and the way she goes about her business now. She's very professional and super strong and super fit, and still has those great strokes. So I think this is an opportunity for a lot of people to look at this as a chance to sort of break out of their shell if they'll allow themselves to. And let's see who emerges as that we didn't know before the ISL, that emerges into next level swimmers.
Yeah, great story, and super proud of her. She's awesome and great team leader for you guys now. So is there anyone like that on your team where you think, wow, this just from observation the last few days, this kid or this person could be a breakout for us,
I think there's a few. Yeah, I do. I think when I'm looking down at the roster, Helena Glasson from New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
She's an IMer that looks, just watching her warm up and some of the practices, looks terrific. Honestly, all 4 of the Brazilians, well, 3 Brazilians and 1 Argentine that trains with the Brazilians,
Mm-hmm.
looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
Anastasia's looking really good, our swimmer from Israel, as is Andy. And so I think there's going to be some folks do some really good things. Hey, Tom Shields, physically looks amazing, and he loves this stuff. So look out for Tom. He's going to eat this stuff up, and I think he'll be a real good one as well. And from my squad, Dylan Carter seems to be popping in warm up, and he's getting to do some individual events this time. So he'll be a guy that I wouldn't be surprised to see some really good things happen.
Now, have you finalized your lineup for the first meet tomorrow? We
have. Actually, Kristen's walking in the room right now, and kind of she was just working on that downstairs with Kim Bracken, and putting the final touches on the day's roster. And we're looking pretty good, and it looks like the lineup is about as good as it can be. We did pick up lanes 1 and 2, and you know how in this pool how that's a nice benefit to be out and have that outside lane and take advantage of that. And so that's a little bit the strategy now as to where we put the swimmers. And by being in lanes 1 and 2, you won't see this on TV, but when you're 1 and 2, you have more time to actually take your sweats off. You're not rushed. Pez is running things again, so he's going to be foul mouth and kicking butt to be on the timeline. And and I saw Rowdy yesterday, and I'm so happy to have him out here sort of broadcasting along with Mark Foster and Bernie. And I think it'll be a very good team that will explain what's going on. So, but there for sure is going to be some glitches. I mean, for sure there's going to be some things that don't necessarily go perfectly smooth, but we'll all roll with those things. But yeah, we'll start off with a pretty solid lineup, and then we'll make some adjustments as we see how people are swimming. And then during the weeks, hopefully in terms of training, we can get proper training done to stay within the context we are in the Olympic year. And nobody wants to leave here less physically fit or less in shape than they were when they came here. And hopefully a bunch of us leave more race ready and down into our details, and having learned how to and gain confidence from racing each other.
Well, listen, Budapest is the center of the swimming world for the next 6 weeks, and super excited. Wish I was there, but I'm living vicariously through all this stuff. Yeah. And I'm glad to just get some personal time here. It's nice to see you, so I appreciate it.
Well, stay in touch, and hit your LA Current guys with a little bit of love before the meet begins. I'm sure they'll appreciate that from you, Brett. Absolutely, no doubt about it. And good luck, and go Current. All right. See ya. Thank you. Bye. Bye.